Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review. Next up is the Medicom Toy Mafex. I say Mafex, I think it might be Mafex, I don't know. I'm stuck in my ways, I call it Mafex. But here we have the Captain America, the Winter Soldier, the classic suit version of Captain America. Now this is the suit that he wore at the final battle of the Winter Soldier movie. He had to go to like the Smithsonian or whatever and steal the classic suit because the stealth suit that he had from earlier in the movie was bugged. It had a tracker on there, so obviously he had to ditch that suit. So this is the World War II suit, as I like to call it, but it officially says down there it is the classic suit. This is part of the Infinity Saga, as you can see there. It is number 220 out of all the Mafex releases. So I am very excited for this one. Hopefully we will see Mafex do some other figures throughout the Infinity Saga from some of the other movies. The Captain America the Winter Soldier, obviously one of the best MCU movies. Arguably the best. It just depends on my mood in any given day if I want to call this one the best, if I want to call Civil War the best, or if I want to call Endgame or Infinity War the best. We have all of those. I've already taken a look at the stealth suit version of Captain America, and we've taken a look at the Winter Soldier. These two there. I will obviously do the comparisons and whatnot in this video. Big shout out and thank you to Big Bad Toy Store where I got this from. It is currently in stock right now, so link in the video description below if you're looking to pick up this classic suit Captain America from the Winter Soldier. So taking a look at the back of the package, we get this stone little display base type thing with the classic shield that Cap used during World War II, and then obviously he has the vibranium circle shield there. Again, this is supposed to be based off of the final battle at the end of the movie, so there is all that, but it could just be, a Winter Soldier or Captain America the First Avenger, I guess, if you wanted it to be. So yeah, there we go. Let's go ahead and get into it. I'm excited. Let's take a look. Okay, so I have the trays here, and I don't know what this tiny thing here is. Typically with the Mafex figures, I thought they came with instruction sheets. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but this one did not, so I'm going to have to figure out what this little tiny thing here is. But I just wanted to kind of show you guys the accessories. We kind of get this battle damaged shield. We got the classic shield. We get those same strap technique pieces that hold the shield so he can hold on to it. Not a big fan of that, if I'm being completely honest with you. We got these gloved hands, which are cool. We just have these open hands. We got the little gimmick portion there to make it look like he's throwing the shield or holding on to the shield from the side. Looks like we get trigger finger hands. We've got kind of these grip hands, and then we got these finger pointed hands there. We got the helmet. We've got a Steve Rogers head, and then an alternate expression there. So let's go ahead and get everything out. Let's take a better look. Before I forget, yes, every Mafex figure comes with one of these stands. I never use them though. Hey guys, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and help me reach my goal of 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year. We're getting closer and closer, less than 2,300 left to go. With your help, I know we can do it. The end of the year is coming up quick though, and we are getting close. So if you haven't already, make sure hit that subscribe button now. Okay guys, so here we have the Captain America classic suit figure out of the package, and a couple of things. I've got some big issues with this figure, straight up. But there's some good things, like aesthetically, I think it looks pretty good. I think, didn't get a whole lot, well, I take that back. We technically did get a First Avenger figure, and then we technically got that basically reissued in the Winter Soldier for that end scene. It just wasn't a particularly good figure because it was a little undersized. So now we got kind of a larger one. But this figure is definitely going to be the weakest out of the three Winter Soldier figures. Like, it's just not as good. And there's a couple of things in it that I just don't like. The arms, I didn't necessarily mind them so much on the Stealth Captain America, but on this one, I just really don't care for them. And the elbows are a little bit weird, but the non-bicep swivel is definitely an issue with this figure. So that one is a little frustrating. And then the glove thing is really crazy. Like the stealth suit had this weird thing with the boots covers and the boots. This one has an issue with the gloves, with the wrists and everything and how that works there. So it's just kind of funky. The Winter Soldier though, this guy, I highly recommend this one. This is such a good figure. If only he came with guns, but otherwise really nice figures. But if you're looking to build out, your team for the Winter Soldier or to build out a display, this Captain America will fit in nicely. But if you want to pose him around for photography and things like that, I think that's where the challenges and the issues are going to come up. So let's go in for a closer look at this Captain America, the classic suit. We'll take a look at the accessories and the hands and all those different things that he comes with. But yeah, a little disappointing on my initial reaction to the figure. Okay, so here we have a closer look at the first, like, kind of the stoic head sculpt there. And it looks pretty good. I think it's a little undersized, though. Like, his body, well, first, I think the issue is the body's a little too big. But the head does look a little undersized. The stealth suit Captain America, I think the helmeted heads kind of had that a little bit. But I keep this one, you know, with the Chris Evans, Steve Rogers head sculpt on there, and it doesn't look so bad. The shoulders, obviously, are big. And they definitely seem bigger on the stealth suit, but something about this one, it just doesn't, I feel like it doesn't work as well. But anyway, this is just kind of the straight face there, just kind of a brighter, or, well, more of a darker blue, but a little brighter in color as well for the standard head sculpt. Let's go ahead and pop that off. We get an extra angry face Steve Rogers there. And that looks pretty good, but again, still a little undersized in my opinion, but does look good. We get the Chris Evans unhelmeted head sculpt, and this looks pretty good there. It's a little angry faced. We also had, you know, this one there, so you can use the two around if you wanted to. So if we wanted to, like, swap them around. Oh, wait. Is that how it's supposed to be? Is that peg supposed to have come off? I don't recall that being an issue. Why is it now that this... Okay, so I can't just easily swap that because this peg actually just came off of that figure. I feel like that did not happen before. It was not supposed to work out that way. But anyway, there we go. We have the angry head sculpt. We also get an actual helmet to kind of go along with it. No face in there, so he can hold on to that if that's what you wanted to do. We have that there. Now, the other accessories... And I'm trying to pop this hand back in because these hands are super... Oh my god, things are falling apart. So this metal back piece, I already filmed a clip where we're talking about the shield and stuff, and that'll be later, so I'm going to probably jump around in this video a little bit. That doesn't stay in there as well as I would like it to. But anyway, here, back to the accessories. We get two different shields. We get this one. This is the nice vibranium one, round one. And we got some battle damage to it. So some nice scuffs and scrapes in there. That is pretty good. The Winter Soldier, the stealth suit, we had the regular shield, as you can see there. This blue does seem a little bit lighter in color. The red seems a little brighter. But very similar, but I like the battle damage, the effects, the weathering on there. You know, we had the stealth suit version, as you can see there, same shield, different colors. And then with the Winter Soldier, we actually had the same shield, but it was kind of all dusty, dirty from that blast that it took there. So we now have 4 different shields of this version, but this figure comes with this shield also. This is more of the classic shield that he used during World War II, and then it has this rock type feature where you can have it displayed on there. And this holder gimmick I don't like, because you have the piece for his back, and I've already filmed the clip, but I'll talk about that, and it'll be inserted somewhere in the video. But I'm not a fan. Like, why not do something to where it stays on there sturdy instead of this where, you know, it's going to move around, and then it's like, well, no, I got to adjust that, and it's just kind of a pain. And then I don't really know the reason for this whole rock display thing. I mean, I guess it looks cool, but that wasn't in the movies in any way, was it? Or... And I'd have to really go back and watch the movie because I haven't seen the movie in a while. But maybe this was like in the Smithsonian with the suit. Maybe this is what was there. I'm going to go with that. Let's say that that's what it was. So we have the shield here. Now, these shields use this weird... it's like these strap things. So each one only has... one strap that's permanently on there, and you have to put in a different piece. And there's a couple of different sizes. One that's going to be, you know, more for gripping, and then there's a larger piece so you can fit like the arm through it, which is cool. But these don't stay on super well. The stealth suit definitely had a bigger issue with it. It was kind of fixed in the Winter Soldier. This one doesn't seem so much to be an issue. Did I get the wrong one? I got the wrong one. So you got these 2 straps for each of the 2 different shields, and it's just a matter of, do you know which one goes on which one? And it's like, I don't know. I have to kind of look and hopefully see. So that holds fairly well on that big one. Well, that came off a little easy there. Yeah, I don't... Okay, so this one holds decently. Let's see the small strap, how this holds. Whoops. I guess it'll be okay. So yeah, so we have those there. We have the different back piece. I don't know why this keeps coming off. I don't know where it went, but we have the peg hole version there, so you can actually have that, and then you'll be able to use this piece here to display the shield on his back, and you'll see that in a later clip. The hands, out of the package, you actually have fists. And then I put these open hands on there because I have them resting on the shield there. We also get like the shield holding throwing hands, as you can see here with the gloves. And it, again, just kind of follows that same little plastic fork gimmick there. We have these wide open hands here, and these hands end up looking a little bit small. Maybe that's just me, but these wide open relaxed hands. We get these finger pointing hands here. And then we also have trigger finger hands here, but no guns. He comes with no guns. So those are the accessories that we have for Cap. That is the close-up look at him on the head sculpts. Looking at the suit, it's a nice dull blue suit because that's really the color that it was in the movie. I wish there was maybe a wash or something to kind of drown out the dullness of the blue, if that makes sense. Just to kind of bring out the details, it would have been nice. But aesthetically, overall looks good, except for the elbows. I don't like the big ball joint there in the elbow. And then the no bicep swivel. And for whatever reason, it only happens with Cap. Like Winter Soldier was good. The Iron Man figure that I have is good. Some of the other ones that I've seen, they're good. But Cap, for whatever reason, gets these arms. And they just don't do him justice. But looking at the rest of the figure, it looks good. Nice brown buckles on those boots too. Overall, looks good. A little bit of black in the lining of the suit and whatnot. So overall, does look really good. So now let's go ahead and let's play that clip of the shield thing on his back that I already filmed, and then we'll take a look at the articulation. Oops, just kidding. Before we take a look at that shield portion and then onto the articulation, I want to talk about the other thing that I don't really care for on this figure. The arms are one thing, but look at these hands. Why is this boot designed, glove designed to where the hand, it has to go inside of it? Like, why is that a thing? I don't understand. Like, this should just be the end of the wrist. Why does it need to be so large? And because of that, the hands don't sit in there really well, and you can't hinge them like at all. They're just there. No, I mean, the hinge, yes, there's a hinge that you could do in there, but the design of it, of the glove, does not allow you to hinge those hands. Terrible design flaw, in my opinion, that makes no sense. Like, why is it indented so far in there? That just is not effective at all, and that's a big, huge bummer on that figure. It is just too bad they designed it that way. So obviously I figured out what that little metal, like that little silver piece was, and so you can put the shield on his back. It's a very flawed system, though, as you could see. How this weird system, it's just not very secure. It wants to move around a whole lot, and then this peg, it's just a very frustrating system. But this does, like, you have to get in a certain angle to get it to stay on there nicely. And again, then it stays loose and it could fall off very easily. So you have the peg hole version, and then you have this complete version there. And I feel like they should have just left the peg hole. It's not really noticeable because it's a nice silver. I can't even get it off this plastic piece, or they should have just left it on the plastic piece even. But oh, that's interesting. I can't get it off, and it's digging into my finger now. Hold on. Yeah, that's weird. I guess I'll have to show that in a different time. But the peg hole wasn't really noticeable because it's all silver and it just kind of blends in nicely. They should have just kept it that way. But also notice how I have the elbow there. Like I was going to, he's putting the shoulder on his back. He can't actually reach all the way for it. Like it doesn't really work too well, unfortunately. Okay, so articulation. Cap can look up all the way, as you can see there, and then he can look all the way down, which is good. You get a full rotation in that head sculpt, and you get some great pivot in there between the head and the neck itself. It's on, it's on its own ball joint. So lots of movement in the head. The arm, you can get the arm to go straight on out like so. You get a full rotation in there. There is a little bit of a butterfly in there that allows some upward and downward motion, but front and back, you're not really going to get a whole lot. So you can't really move that arm back. You can't really get that arm to do much of a cross body, especially since there's no bicep swivel. It's just a little unfortunate in there. You get a swivel at the elbow, and it's just a single joint, so you get that much bend at the elbow. Not terrible, but it's just not as effective as you would really want it to be. The wrist swivel, and technically there's a hinge in there, but I already talked about it. You're not going to be able to hinge these hands, and that is really unfortunate. We have a diaphragm cut and a ball joint waist, so in total you can get Cap to tilt to his left that much. You can get him to tilt to his right that much there. Going back is pretty far in that you can just move that belt to hide the gap at the waist, but you'll see some at that diaphragm, but leaning back is quite a bit. Leaning forward, however, is not as much as you can see there. It's not terrible, but I wish we could have gotten a little bit more in there. And then you get a swivel at that ball joint waist. You get the drop down hip, so you can bring the hip down that much, as you can see there. Legs go out that far apart. Cap can kick forward that far there. The leg goes back quite a bit. You have somewhat of a thigh swivel in there. You don't get a full on cut, but you can turn it in there. A little bit of pivot action. You only get a single jointed knee. That's odd. Why did we get Winter Soldier, Stealth Suit, 2 double jointed knee? Why did we get single jointed knee on this guy? Maybe because of the bagginess of the pants. The Stealth Suit, obviously a little bit more form fitting. Maybe that's why, because it was too baggy, it would look ugly, but it's just odd. A Mafex figure, you think of the, highly articulated and very good range of motion, but it's getting more and more disappointing. So single jointed knee, unfortunately, there is a little bit of a swivel at that knee too. No boot swivel. That sucks. Foot hinges down tiny bit, hinges up tiny bit. There's some pivot in that ankle, and then you have toe articulation in there. Man. You could still get him into some poses around. I'm not the greatest, so, I just pulled that together quick because it's very basic. But, you can get him to do some stuff, and aesthetically, he's going to look good. It's just he's not as functional as we would really hope to be. And the expectations for a Mafex figure, I think, are a lot higher than what they gave us with this figure. Okay, so posing around, again, you can get him into some decent poses. I think you would just be able to do a lot more with him if we had the other points of articulation that we would typically get with Mafex figures. And then I wanted to show this specifically, though, on how he would hold the shield. So you have the gimmick hands here, which has this piece, which kind of just goes under the strap, as you can see there. And then one thing that's funny, because you know how I talked about the gloves and I complained about it, and I'm probably just ranting a little too much at this point. The design of the hand, as you can see, you got that plastic piece there. When you put the hand on there, you want to be able to get it all the way on that peg, and depending how you position that hand in there, that plastic piece ends up hitting the cuff of the glove and not being very sturdy on that wrist peg. So, man, just such an odd choice that I just really can't understand. I don't get it. But when you have it in place on this side, it looks good. So if you don't think about the flaws in the design overall, it's flawed, but it can work only in certain instances where it could look good, but still very flawed. Okay, so here we go. So I can get this shield. So this shield is one that you're really only going to be able to get onto his left arm, because the design of the strap. Oh, that strap came off on that side. This one does not hold as nicely, but it's kind of tricky the way you have to get it in. You have to have the grip hand on that strap, and then put this on the arm, and then attach it to the shield, and then get that arm to peg into the hand. The wrist, it's more work than it should take, but then when you do it, it does look pretty good. But again, this particular shield, because it's not round where you can adjust it, around on the larger strap like this one, with this particular shield, what you could do is you can put it onto his arm, like so, right? Because the bigger part's got to go in first so he can hold on to that shield. But then because it's round, you just flip it around and you have this portion there, and you can have it on that left arm. But this particular shield, because it's not round, it has to only stay on his left arm. Now, I'd have to go back and rewatch the movie. I don't know if he ever uses it on his right or if it even matters. But, you know, having the options is definitely nice. You know, he can obviously hold the shield, but attaching it to his arm like this is something that you can only do with the left. I doubt he would ever actually hold the shield this way, but with that shield holding gimmick, you obviously can use it with this particular shield too. It just doesn't make as much sense. Okay, I was getting a little frustrated again. This large strap on the round shield does not hold as well as it should, so it kind of has that same issue that we had previously with the stealth suit Captain America. So it just kind of gets as you kind of see, it comes off just a little too easily, in my opinion, which you know, kind of sucks. I wish that it didn't. And then one other thing that I want to show is you have the helmet, so he can hold it by like the chin strap, so we can get that into his hand or not. He doesn't have a real good grip, although boom, there we go. There we go. That looks good. There we go. Okay. I can live with that. Okay, so here we have the Mafex Captain America, the Winter Soldier figures, all three of them here side by side. The Winter Soldier, Bucky, he's an awesome figure. I highly, highly, highly recommend this figure. That one is in stock at Big Bad Toy Store as well. All three of these are in stock at Big Bad Toy Store, so I'll have links in the video description below. Stealth Suit figure does look really good. There's issues with that boot cover, but as you can see, I can get him to stand nice and easy. This World War II classic suit cap, it fits the look, so depending on how your display is, will determine like if it's something that's going to fit in, if it's something that's going to be a necessity to you. I don't recommend it nearly as much as these other twos because it has some big flaws. The gloves are definitely an issue. The lack of bicep swivel, the single jointed knee, all tough to deal with. The shields look really, really good. The strap system that they do could be better, especially on the round one when it comes to the larger strap. Other than that, the accessories that he comes with are all good, like the three head sculpts, the helmet, the rock little stand piece for that shield. The hands are all great. No guns, which is unfortunate, but from a pure aesthetic standpoint, looks good, except those elbows. Those elbows stick out a little too much and it bothers me. At least on the stealth suit, the dark blue blends in a bit so you don't see it as much. But the white just stands out a little too much for me. But overall, aesthetically, I do like the way it looks and it fits in with the Winter Soldier. So if you're trying to recreate some stuff from that final battle, this is the suit that you're going to need. Or if you wanted to do something crazy, like just kind of mixing in with your Marvel Legends type of thing. So let's get these guys out of the way. I brought out the Marvel Legends Red Skull. This is one of those rare instances where I think Mafex is going to end up being bigger than a Marvel Legends figure. Because if you look at that Red Skull there, Cap is huge compared to them. And that's not typically what we see when it comes to Mafex figures compared to Marvel Legends. So it's pretty crazy. This one's going to be even more wild, as this one was an undersized figure to begin with. This is the classic suit. This is more of a first Avenger suit because the suit during World War II and the end of the Winter Soldier are technically a little bit different, because the end of the Winter Soldier has the 3 red stripes, whereas the first Avenger suit only had 2. But take a look at that. I mean, severely undersized between the two, and that is not normal when it comes to Mafex and Marvel Legends comparisons. That guy was already undersized. Then you have Captain America, which is a little oversized, but fits in well with the Captain America figures together. So, you know, if you start to get the other ones, it ends up being a little too oversized. But just kind of crazy seeing those side by side. But what we do have is this Captain America, which was in a 2-pack with Peggy Carter exclusive to Amazon. And size-wise, these ones are actually pretty close. The Mafex is still a bit larger and bulkier, especially in the upper body range. But those ones are fairly close. And you know what? A Mafex version of this would be pretty darn awesome, I think. Why can't I get him to stand up straight right now? Anyway, So there we go. So Mafex, larger than Marvel Legends, but if you're just piecing, like, just specifically the Winter Soldier, Captain America, that movie or something, you can really make it work. But you guys give me your thoughts down in the comments below. What do you think of this Mafex classic suit, Captain America from the Winter Soldier? It has its flaws. It looks good, but it has its flaws. So you guys give me your thoughts in the comments below. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor. Hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. And as always, thank you for watching.